Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Good to be here. I've been promising a dowsing rod session for some time, and I am looking forward to doing this. We have lots of questions. So we'll wait for a few people to join. Thank you, Ness, for all those questions. I've got them starred. Excuse me. And I will take your questions. I have a list of questions myself. Mystic Sense. Hi, nice to see you. Gina Halleck, good to see you. Hi, Polly. Good to see you. Of course, I have to cough now. Now I'm feeling so much better. Happy to be here. Hi, Lynn. Good to see you. Got something on my glasses. Something smeared on my glasses. Good to see everybody. So I'm going to be here doing a dowsing rod session for current events. Excuse me. That means some of the crazy things going on in our country and around the world and in the universe. So, yes. So I see your question. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Gina. Thank you. And if you have questions, pop them in there. I'll just star them and we'll ask them. Sometimes they may overlap with some of my questions. So we'll figure out how to do that. You can see I've been packing. You can see my shelves are getting barer. Yep. I only left a few things on there for effect, but they're going. They're going, gone. Hi, Fatima. Good to see you. There's John Scarborough. One day, he's been promising to help me. I don't know how to do this, but I can make him a whatever co-host so that he can put things up. All right. But I have questions here. My questions so far relate, of course, to Felon 45, as we like to call him. Hi, Ness. Good to see you. Thanks. I got your questions. And I have questions about the tariffs. I have questions about the EU, measles, questions about those who were sent to El Salvador. Ooh, I just got a chill. That's weird. Okay. Big chill. I always get my chills in my scalp for some reason, guys. Sometimes full body, but this is where they start. All right, I will go ahead and start with my questions. And guys, I'll show you a little demonstration about how I use my dowsing rods. So here they are. Excuse me. All right, so I will ask the question, and when I ask, first of all, I'll ask, are my guides and angels here and ready to answer questions? There's a yes. So now you know what my yes looks like. That was a quick one too. They're ready. They were ready. And please show us a no. And I'm going to have to, there we go. That's my no. Okay. I'm going to lower my screen a little bit more. You may not see the top of my head, but that way you can see these. And I'm not going to put the questions up on the screen because it blocks the dowsing rods. Okay, so my first question tonight is actually, I think I'm going to go with the tariffs first, okay? Since that seems to be on the whole, the whole world is watching right now. So this was John's question. And it's a good one. He says, is Trump's plan to pause the tariffs for 90 days because of, and there are a number of reasons. So first reason is it because of pressure that he's crashing the economy? That's a no. Is it, okay, is he pausing the tariffs for 90 days because of international pressures. No. Interesting. I don't know if he can be pressured that way. Um, is he doing it simply to create more chaos? Oh my gosh. Yes, I think it's kind of like he says jump and we say how high, right? He wants to see, he's like the puppet master. Okay. And I could feel my rods wanted to cross when I said that. They're still trying to. Okay. Um, okay. Are you ready for the next? Is he doing this because he's taking orders from Vladimir Putin? Putin wants the chaos, of course, right? Gosh, it won't even uncross. I've never seen it stay stuck like that. Look at this. Okay. Hmm. Is Putin seeking chaos in the world? Wow. Guys, this is crazy. I think that's pretty understandable, right? Thank you for typing that in, Ness. You're so fast. All right. Is there something more sinister at play? Yes. So, is Trump trying to crash the economy to cash in on cheap stock? There's a yes. Hi, Dora. Good to see you. Whew. That's it won't even uncross. Come on. Come on. All right. So that means we're on to a really good line of questioning. I think that we hit a vein there. Okay. Will China negotiate that he imposed some 125% tariffs on China? Will they come to the negotiating table? Nope. China's not playing that game. Nope. Okay. Any other questions here? I'm gonna excuse me. I am going to, let's see. Ness says, I think he is doing this to make money, make it go up or down. Yes, right, on a whim. I agree. Yeah, so his rich friends can buy on the Wall Street dip. Yes. Christine, I am not answering personal questions tonight, but maybe we can do that on Friday. Okay. All right. Janet, that's not a question for the dowsing rods, but that's a good one. Is there no end to their greed? Right. Okay. So I'm going to move on. Can the US, so I want to just explain this really quickly. My question is about stagflation. So apparently this is the thing that they're talking about now. Stagflation is worse than inflation. This is when inflation goes up and everything costs more, but people's earnings go down and income goes down. So it's apparently a much harder problem to tackle from an economic standpoint. Okay, so can the US expect stagflation? That was a yes. Okay, that's pretty, it took a second to get there, but it's a yes. Okay. Will other countries experience stagflation as well? That's a yes. Because of Trump's chaos. Okay. Another question. Will the housing market suffer? Yes. Oh, boys. Crazy, crazy times. Okay. Ness says stagflation is the combination of high inflation, stagnant economic growth, and elevated unemployment. Thank you. I am not an economist. Okay, I'm going to turn now to questions specifically about Donald Trump. Is Trump, and this is all for entertainment purposes only, yes? Okay. Is Donald Trump healthy? No. Will we see a health event in the next 3 months? No. Will we see a an attempt, let's put it that way, an attempt in the next 3 months? Yes. You can read between the lines, right? An attempt on his life. Okay. Gina says, Kelly, I feel this chaotic energy will not be with us long. I hope calmer energy is moving forward. I have seen for a while, I feel like something big is going to happen. I've said this for a long while. July and August feels really, really important, like really important. And that's where I feel like things are going to come to a head, if you know what I mean. So Gina says, we won't see a health event, but it will happen and it will be hidden. Oh, let's ask that question. Thank you. Will, thank you, because I didn't ask it that way. All right. Will Donald Trump experience a hidden health event in the coming months? Look at that. That was a yes. Hi, Amanda. Yeah. Okay. Is this a mental health challenge? Yes. I kind of feel like we could see, there could be like, should I say it? Like a stroke or something like this, but also really a decline in his mental capacities. Okay. Hi, Lily Rose. She says, that's what I was going to say, Gina, maybe hidden from us. Yes. Very good. So, okay, well, that makes sense. Well, let's ask this question. If a health event occurs, will his administration hide it? That was a very definitive yes. Okay. Will JD Vance be asked to step in? No. Amanda says mental before physical. My rods agree. Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. I think they'll hide it. They're not going to invite JD Vance to step up. Another John in the house. Hi, John. Okay. All right. Okay, Liz, I like that question. Will that health event be obvious to the American people? Yes. And that is a very good question because remember during COVID, he wouldn't admit to being sick, right? He didn't want anybody to know. He thought he was going to zip off to Walter Reed Hospital and nobody was going to know. So, okay. All right. Is 45 aware that his approval rating is plummeting? He is aware. I think that's because he's all ego. Does he care that his approval rating is plummeting? That is a yes. He does care. Okay. Is he simply acting out of spite in some cases? Yes. And I'm thinking, as I say this, I'm thinking about like reversing things that Biden or Obama did. Okay, I already asked that question about Putin and the tariffs. Hi, Shandell. Okay. If you have any questions to interject, it's fine. Gina says he strikes me as a malignant narcissist, self-love which masks self-hatred. Yes. As we like to say, he's an egomaniac with a self-esteem problem, right? Okay. Dorella, I asked that question, but let's ask it again. Are Putin and Trump in cahoots? Yeah. So I think before you jumped on, it was a strong, strong yes that Putin is pulling the strings with all this chaos with the tariffs. Could actually be true that China has been taking advantage of the United States when it comes to trade. Yeah, I actually think that's true. Has China been taking advantage of the US with trade? Yes. Okay. So it seems like if there were one country that he should, they should try to manage the tariffs better, it's China. But John Scarborough said that he read somewhere that fully 60% of Chinese exports go to the US. Isn't that interesting? That's a lot. So, it does seem like we would have some strings to pull. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna switch gears here, and I have a really important question to ask about the EU. And this is because most of you know our one son has a girlfriend who lives in the UK. She just told us yesterday, she's visiting right now. She's doing fine. She made it through customs just fine. She said that friends that they know, and they're hearing all over the place that people all over the European Union, not in the UK, are receiving pamphlets and little booklets on how to protect themselves and prepare for an invasion from Russia. I mean, how terrifying is that? I'll ask that question in a moment, Dorella. Thank you. I did ask a similar question recently, and I'm just going to star a couple of these questions that I see here. Thank you, Shandell. Okay. Okay. I just want to tell you what Shandell says here. My guides are telling me that F-45 administration will be removed this Saturday. Whoa. Also telling me that F-45 leaves Earth Easter weekend. Oh my goodness. All right. We'll see. We'll see what happens, right? Okay. Janet, you said I've been hearing that too. Also information on general preparedness. Okay, this is about the EU. Okay, so let's ask about the EU receiving pamphlets to prepare for a Russian invasion. Should Europeans will Putin invade Europe? I'm sorry, I'm going to put my hands up a little bit higher. So, okay, will Vladimir Putin invade Europe? That's a slow no. Will he? Let's ask this question. Will he fire rockets or make an assault into one or more countries? There's a yes. Will he be driven out as soon as he arrives? That's a yes. Wow. Okay, that's a strong yes. It took a second though. It sort of dilly-dallied. All right, I'm going to read. Sorry. Yes, I can't read so fast. Hi, Odelia. All right. Every member state has been asked to develop the 72-hour survival kit as part of the EU's preparedness union strategy unveiled on Wednesday by the European Commission. Strategy includes a list of actions that member states need to take to boost their preparedness for crises, including natural disasters and cyber and military attacks? Putin wants. Well, that was going to be my next question. Putin wants Poland. Okay. Um, okay, you got the same thing. Putin, says Amanda. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to. Let's not panic. Let's all hold the light, guys. Hold the light. All right. Does Putin want to invade Poland? Yes, sir. Does he want to invade Norway? That one was even quicker. They share a border. Okay. Does he want to invade Belarus? Ugh. Okay. Maybe split that question into Eastern and Western Europe. Yes. I feel like I'm just going to say to you that it's the Eastern European countries that really need to be on guard, but the rest of Europe needs to step up. And Shandell said, is Putin still alive? Yes. Look at that. It's not a very energetic yes. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Finland. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. Let me ask Finland. Okay. I'm sorry, I got the wrong country. I think my dowsing rods and my guides knew. All right, let's ask that question again. Is Putin keen on invading Finland? Yes. Okay. Yeah, his life force is not as strong. Yes. And so my next question was, will Putin survive past 2025? Look at this, guys. There's a small yes, maybe barely. Yes, I did ask Norway. He wants some. I think he wants it all. That's the problem. So it's going to say yes. Okay. Any other questions there? Let me jump really quickly to Ukraine while we're on the topic. Oh, sorry, John. Yes, he's still alive now. Okay. All right. Will the war in Ukraine end in 2025? Well, that's good. Look at that. To me, it says if the war in Ukraine ends, he's not going to be able to take Europe. In fact, sorry, I'm kind of getting a little hit right now. Like if he tries to invade Europe, there's going to be such a shocking response from the European countries that they'll blow him out of the water. That's what I think will happen if he tries. Okay. Amanda says, mine too, amazing, slow, yes, as if he's on the planet, end of year. Yeah. Okay. Isn't that interesting? Well, let's ask this question more directly. Will Putin leave the planet? Will he transition off the earth in 2026? That's a yes. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Lily Rose. Suddenly, Ukraine is on the back burner. We're not talking about it anymore, and it's tragic. Okay, all right. You'll bake a cake for it. Yes, I'll pop the champagne. Okay, one rod. Yes, interesting. A Russian rose tip frosting. Okay, that's very funny. Okay, all right. I have more questions. If anybody has any other questions about Putin, you can put them in. But I'm going to move on to the measles outbreak. Again, this was John's suggestion. Good one. Will the measles outbreak continue to spread? Mm. Will there be more deaths from the measles? Well, that's kind of nice. It's a it's a tepid almost no. It's sort of a mild, yeah, a mild no. I'm going to put that in the maybe category. Okay. But I like no if that's the case. Will RFK Jr. be held to account for this? Oh, wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting that to go so quickly. Yeah. Okay. I got your question, Amanda. Lily Rose asks, is it because the babies were not vaccinated? Is this because they were not vaccinated? A very strong yes. Okay. So it's not that it's a different strain, it's just that it's a deadly disease. All right. One other while we're on all these pleasant topics, is there another epidemic, pandemic that we can expect in the next 2 to 3 years? That's just a little small yes. Does that mean it's not very widespread? Yes. Is it in the United States? Will it happen in the United States? No. I'm feeling as I read that question, um, I am feeling that it could be in Africa, like I hate to say it, like Ebola or one of those kind of, you know, bloodborne or fluid-borne diseases. Okay. Lily Rose, is it something to do with water? Is this epidemic something to do with water? Not really. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Whew. Okay. Let's vaccinate our babies. You know, I never realized how deadly, it could be and how sick it can make people. And I think that there can be lasting effects as I've read, from the measles, from having the measles. All right. Yes, it is sad, says John. A lot of people are not vaccinating their children, avoiding being vaccinated. Yeah. It's as much about, and I understand personal choice, blah blah blah, but it's as much about everybody else as it is about ourselves, right? Or our own children. Okay, I'm going to ask about just a quick question about the prisoners being held in El Salvador. Will those who were what's the word? I was going to say exported, who were sent to El Salvador prison, be returning this year? Ugh. Okay. Look, did you see how long it took to come to a decision? And that is a yes. It sounds like it's going to be later in the year. Will it be toward the end of the year? Yes. Okay. I got your question too, Amanda. Thank you. Wrongly exported. Sorry. Okay. Are the photos that they show from that El Salvador prison real? Are the photos they show real? Yes. I did hear that the prisoners who were like stacked up on beds behind Christy Nome when she went there were not the ones who were sent from the U.S. They're they were captured in El Salvador for other crimes. Okay. Question is, will what's his name? Obregon Garcia, the guy who was mistakenly exported and they admitted to that, will he be released this year? Yes. Thank you, Amanda. I'm glad that you're doing that. That's very helpful. Will he be released in the next or before by the end of the summer? No. I'm just getting the feeling that he'll be released when the rest of them will be released. Will it be when Trump is out? That's a good question. I'm going to ask that. Will the prisoners be released after Trump's? I was like holding it back. I knew that I could feel it pulling. Yes, they're going to be released once Trump is gone from office by apparently the end of the year. Will the gay hairstylist person, I can't remember his name, the gay man who is, he's like a cosmetologist, will he be released by September? No. Will he be released by the end of the year? Yes. You got a yes on Obrega. Yeah. Nice. Okay. All right. If you have any other questions there, go ahead and pop them in. I'm going to ask a couple more questions about Doge and a few questions about the administration, and then I'm happy to take anybody else's questions. Will Musk be leaving Doge and the Trump administration in the next month? That was a wobbly yes. Okay. Will he remain working behind the scenes? Oh, yes. That was a quick yes. Okay. So when he leaves, yeah. Are there more, can we expect more government employees to be fired? Sadly, yes. Will their jobs be restored in the next 6 months? Golly, no. Okay. Okay. Sorry. That just shook me. I'm so sorry to hear that. Having grown up in Washington, D.C., that's where I'm from originally. Feels very near and dear to me. That would have been probably my dad and all my friends' dads or moms. Okay. Okay, I got your question, Dorella. And oh, I like that. Okay, Ness, will people stop buying Teslas? Or will there be a 50% reduction in sales within the next year? That's kind of a look at that. It kind of comes close. Will there be a hi Leegi, nice to see you, Canadian. Yes, any Canadian questions, pop them in there. Will there be a significant drop in Tesla sales in the next year? Yes. Yes, indeed. Okay. Yeah. Let me ask one more question about Musk. Will Musk ultimately leave the US or in the next year or two leave the US because of legal trouble? Yes. You'll take one for free? What car? What are you saying you'll take for free? A Tesla? Okay, Leegi asks, will Mark Carney win the federal election this month? Oh, it's this month. Thank you for letting us know. I thought it was later in the year. Will Mark Carney win the federal election this month? That's a yes. I like that for you. He seems like he's a powerhouse. I don't know. I like him. I like his energy. Federal pension. Okay. Federal pension was always touted as top caliber pension program, top health insurance. I think you keep 90% of your salary before you retire. I don't know if it's that rich, but it's pretty good. Having had a lot of family. Okay. Um, you're right. And I do think that, let me ask a quick question, another question about that really quickly. Will the fired federal employees be approved for unemployment? That's a slow yes. I have a feeling that's going to get contested in the courts and wind up actually before the Supreme Court. Yes, you'll take a Tesla for free. I hear people are like covering up the emblems and stuff like that. Okay. You're welcome, BG. Will non-greedy billionaires try to provide jobs to Americans, excuse me, who need work? Yes, I heard they're already doing it. They're already working on it. Okay. Let me just, speaking of non-greedy billionaires, will Mark Cuban take a more prominent role in our government? Yes. Okay. That's good. He does seem to be kind of fighting for the people. All right. And then I have some that are starred that I'm going to get to here, but let me get through my list because we have a couple of questions. I wanted to ask really quickly about Gaza. Will the Palestinians be able to return to Gaza? Look at this. It just won't quite cross. Very, very, okay. And then it does slightly. So it may take some time for them to actually get back to their homes. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I meant to ask this one about Ukraine. Will Ukraine have to give up some of its land to Russia in order for a peace agreement? It's a very slight yes. So they may need to give up some of those little lands on the edge that Russia has taken. Making peanut butter toast. We'll ask about Gaza too. Okay. Will the children of Ukraine ever be returned to their homes? Look at this. That was okay. Does that mean that some will be returned and others will not? Does that mean that some will be returned? Yes. Okay. That's really sad. Yeah, Putin wants those Black Sea ports. Exactly, right? Shendel says, Australia has election on 3rd May. We have a wannabe Trump going for prime minister. We call him Temu Trump or Mr. Potato Head. Hopefully he doesn't. Put his name in, Shendel. We can ask that question. Okay. All right. And then my last set of questions is, will any of the Trump administration begin leaving this year? Look how, wow. Okay. Will they leave voluntarily because of Trump's chaos? Yes. All right. John wanted me to ask this because I've seen something with Pam Bondi. I feel like Pam Bondi, she's the Attorney General. She feels like, thank you, Shandell. Okay. I feel like she knows what she's doing is wrong, but she's too scared. Okay. Does Pam Bondi believe the Trump rhetoric? It started to go, but look at that. There's a no. That's a big no for me. She does not believe the Trump rhetoric. Is he holding something over her to make her go along with his chaos? It's sort of like a little bit. Is it more? Is she more afraid of her political future? Yes. Okay. Amanda also got yes to Palestinians returning. Okay. Is Kash Patel going to be in his position as head of the FBI by the end of 2025? I just got something. Okay. Does Kash Patel will Kash Patel have jail time? Will he have some jail time after this? Yes. Kash Patel. Will Marco Rubio be in office by the end of the year? No. Does Marco Rubio believe, sorry for the language, believe the bullshit? Does Marco Rubio believe the bullshit? He does not. Is Marco Rubio going to leave voluntarily? Ooh, I'm getting another thing. Okay. Is Marco Rubio going to become a behind the scenes whistleblower? Bingo. Marco, I've been getting that for a while, that he is so, like, I feel like he's talking to the senators on the outside, and they're asking him to stay in there to gather intel against 45. Okay. Janet says, I had an Uber driver last year who was kidnapped by the Russians as a child and sent to a tech school. He was educated, put into a job, and then he escaped Russia. Wow. Lily almost took an eye out with a resounding yes. Yes. Good thing I got my glasses on. Okay, full body chills. I agree. I whenever I look into Pam Bondi's face and Marco Rubio's eyes, the two of them, I feel like the two of them are, I don't know if Pam Bondi is going to be a whistleblower, but I feel like she knows that she sees the writing on the wall. Yes, that Marco Rubio's face when Zelensky was being scolded in the Oval Office. Janet DC, I believe Libby from Meister Tarot said that they were they were about 3 potential moles in the White House. I think so too. I feel like one of them might be that, I don't remember his name. I think it starts with a B, but he's like an economist who's been talking about the tariffs and stuff like that. Okay. I feel like Kash Patel is a horrible human being who only thinks of himself. I don't even think he's really mentally sound. Okay. All right. So, last question. Besant. Yeah. Thank you, Canadian, who knows our government better than I do. Okay. Will Congress finally step up and check Trump's power? Look at this. A little tiny bit. Sorry, once I get talking, I will cough. Okay. I have some questions of yours that I have start, so I'm going to go ahead and answer those. Amanda says Bondi's not smart enough to be a whistleblower. See, that's the thing about Bondi. I actually have heard that she's very smart and she's a very good, she was a very good lawyer back in the day. But if you recall, she was running for some office and not doing very well. And then Trump came in and threw a boatload of money at her, and she won. I think it was AG in Florida. So you're right, Amanda. Money is really, I mean, in many, many ways, it is the root of all evil. In many ways. Okay, so Ness asks, when Vance called the Chinese citizens peasants, she got a hit that he lost his chance to ever be a U.S. president. Is this the case? Yes or no? Was that the moment he lost it? And will he be president? Okay. Will Vance, did Vance's comments on the Chinese people lose him the presidency? Well, that's a no. Will Vance ever be president? That's a no, too. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Will America lose superpower status because of this twit? I think you're talking about 45, right? Will we lose superpower status? I think the answer is we already have. I think that's the answer. Yeah. Ness says, did he make the comment because he already knows his time is up? Did he make the comment because he already knows his time is up? Look at this. It's one is no and one is yes. So it's a yes and no. I think he probably knows that he's not going to become president, but he also sort of believes the words that he says, that they're peasants. Okay, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to star that. Okay. This is also from Ness. Will Trump reverse course on all tariffs? Will Trump reverse course on all tariffs? Look at this. I think some tariffs. See how it's just barely crisscrossed there? Will he reverse course on some tariffs? Yes. Will he reverse course on tariffs on the Penguin Island? The McDonald Island or whatever. Okay. Lily Rose says, sorry, looking at the one that we have currently is hard to believe he wouldn't get a chance. Sad. Looking at the one that we have currently, it's hard to, I know. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Another question. Will Peter Navarro be fired, quit in the next 1 to 3 months? I wanted to talk about that. I saw a story online that when he wrote up his paper on why we need tariffs, all these extreme tariffs, he cited that he was using some like economics professor's work whose name was Ron Vara, Ronvara. And so when they looked up Ron Vara, they tried to find where this man is. Nobody could find him. And then somebody put together that if you put the letters together, Ronvara, it's an anagram, or I don't know if that's the right word, of his name, which is Navarro. How stupid. can a person be? Okay. Will Navarro be, yeah, he faked a name. Yes. Will Navarro be fired in the next 3 months? No. Will he leave voluntarily? Now, Navarro has been in jail too, guys. He was pardoned by Trump. Will Navarro leave leave voluntarily in the next 3 months? I'm not really getting an answer. Okay. I don't know what that means. Okay. And hold on a quick second. I want to put something in here really, really quickly. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So Gina asks, will Trump be impeached? Look at this, guys. He's probably like 1 vote shy. Do you see that? It comes right to the edge. Whew. Golly, these people. As my previous question said, will Congress step up and check his power? It was kind of a barely no. Barely yes, I should say. If they do it, it's going to be in ways that, okay, will Vance become president before the end of the term? I think we sort of asked this, but will Vance, I meant to take that down. Sorry, I have to hold this high. Will Vance become president before the end of, no. Again, I get a no. Yeah. No to Vance. All right. Will the media finally start reporting more of the truth soonish? Okay. Will the media finally start reporting more of the truth soon? Oh, sadly, that's a no. I feel like we need to go to other means, like some of the Substacks and I don't know, other social media. Okay. Do Melania and the First Lady get along? It's a good question. And the Second Lady. Do Melania and the Second Lady get along? Look at this. What I'm hearing is Melania just doesn't care. She's just saying she's checked out. She's not involved. She's just not. She has nothing to do with any of it. Okay. Amanda asks, will U.S. aid be restored? Oh, Chandel, will Trump be charged with treason? Okay, we'll ask that in a minute. Okay. Will U.S. aid be restored? Will U.S. aid be restored? Yes. I feel like it's going to take a little while. Will it be restored 100%? No. Will it be restored in 2025? Not really. No. Okay. Will Elon leave the White House and go back to Tesla? Oh, okay. I think we asked that question. It's kind of complicated, sort of. All right. Will Elon concentrate on robots now? Someone else suggested that feels right to me. I'm going to ask that question, but I have another comment. Okay. Will Elon leave and concentrate on robots? It was kind of a soft no. Will Elon leave and focus on implants, human implants, electrical implants? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Will he focus on getting to Mars? Yes. I'll buy him a ticket. Okay. Janet says, uh, unless the mainstream media reports more truths about 45, many people will not change their minds. I agree. Let's ask about the right-wing media. Will the right-wing media be start to report the truth? It's a little yes. Is it because of the economy? Yes. Okay. Oh, you heard another reader say it would come back under another name. USAID would come back. Okay. You have some good questions here. I'm going to star them. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, I think I already answered the one about the photos, Lily Rose. Does Melania and the second lady get along? We already did that. Peter Dutton in Australia. Will Peter Dutton win the presidency? Is it a president or a prime minister? I don't know. Will he win the top spot in Australia? It's kind of like a no, but it's a close one. Okay. Ugh. Oh, hold on. I like this question, Shinda. Will Trump be charged with treason? Okay, that was a yes. Will Trump be charged with treason posthumously after he passes? Yes. I feel like all of it will come out after he's gone from this earth. Will Ness asks, will the American people see Trump is working for Putin by July 4th of this year? That's a yes. Do the majority of the American people know that he's working for Putin now? It's a soft yes, too. So we'll be starting, I think will things be start to be revealed by July 4th of this year? Yes. Will it be just the beginning? Wow. Okay, Ness says, will the Eat the Rich movement grow exponentially the rest of the year? Will the Eat the Rich movement? That's a no. Will the sentiment of no more billionaires be felt throughout the country? Yeah. So maybe it was just the question, the way it was phrased, but yes. Okay. Excuse me. From Ness, will people figure out Trump is making money off tariffs in the next 3 months? Will people figure out that Trump is making money off of tariffs in the next 3 months? Okay, that was a yes. I think it's dawning on people right now. Will he be pushed out as a result? Yes, and here's what I'm hearing. It's because of the fact that he is now, like people from Fox News and on his own, there are a lot of like conservative bloggers and YouTubers who are now turning on him because they are losing their, 401ks and their retirement money and everything that's been put in the stock market. So I don't have any more questions. Does anybody else have questions? Amanda says, yes, bye, billionaires. Bye-bye. Lily Rose, I have a feeling that this full moon, being that it's in Libra, is going to have a lot to reveal to us. Ooh, yeah. I'm a Libra, Libra sun. Is this full moon going to bring some revelations to us? Yes. And maybe bring balance. Yeah. Yeah. Putin is a Libra. Is Trump losing support from Fox News? Is Trump losing support from Fox News? Yeah. It's a yes, but it's smaller. I feel like a lot of people have been giving him lip service for a long time, but they know that he's not, they're just doing it because for the paycheck and the notoriety and things like that. So this has always been kind of truly for entertainment purposes only. Ness says, I know, me and Putin, Libra sun. Ness, it's hard to believe that Putin is a Libra sun, honestly, because I don't know. I think it's hard for us to lie. we like balance. Okay. Do the rest of the Western world leaders realize Putin cooped the American election? Yes. Okay. Do the rest of the world leaders know that he messed with the election? Oh, yes. Yes, they do. Will Trump's ultimate ouster be done with the help of other countries due to his election fraud? Yes. Taking its time. Finally got there. Are the rays from the sun altered by all the solar flares? Okay. I'll ask that question, but I think I have a different way of asking it too. Okay. Are the rays from the sun altered by all the solar flares? No, but let's ask it this way. Is the Earth receiving more energy from the sun because of the solar flares? Yes. Yes. So the Earth is being impacted by the solar flares. Yes. Okay. Are the solar flares helping to upgrade our consciousness? Yes. Are the solar flares, if the sun in the tarot deck is and the great illuminator, are the solar flares helping to reveal and unearth what's wrong with this country? That was a big old yes. Are angels and higher beings, excuse me, helping Americans fight this Trump coup? Oh, big yes. Yes. No. Are they helping Trump? No. Okay. What I want to ask there is, is Trump on Earth to show us our failings as a humanity? Is Trump's mission here to show us our failings? Yes. So he serves a purpose, folks. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I feel like the Trump prevailing is questioning people's faith. Will Putin a return on Trump? Can you rephrase that, Lily? I'm not sure what you're trying to ask. Will Putin Yeah. The angels are undoubtedly sending 45 white light and love. They're not trying to help him succeed. That's exactly what I think. And I think that's what we should all be doing to help him to see um, see reason and to be compassionate. Okay. I like your Adelia asks, is Fox News going to go down this year? Whoa. I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to be no. Will they change their tune because of the financial markets? Yeah. Because, they're all about the money. And old Uncle Rupert Murdoch does not like this. Very, very interesting. Will Trump turn against Elon? I feel like he's already kind of, I don't know. Will Trump turn against Elon? That was a yes. Oh, yes. Is Elon working for Putin? Hi, Craig. Is Elon working for himself? Yes. I'm very sorry about old Rupert from Australia. Thanks, Chandel. You gave us you gave the world a doozy. No, that's okay. Anyway, yeah. He eventually turns on everyone, says Janet. That is true. I don't understand why anybody thinks that, they can be the one who changes his ways or whatever. I just don't understand why people are so enthralled with him. So, okay. Elon is tete-a-tete with Putin. Yeah, I think they're running. They're both, billionaires who. That's why I feel like Trump has cooled a little bit on Putin because he's had Musk's money rather than Putin's. Will Putin ever turn on Trump? I kind of feel like he's already turning on him. Will Putin ever turn on Trump? Yeah. Has Putin already turned on Trump? Yeah. I mean, I don't think Putin's ever been a Trump fan. Excuse me. I think that I think he's just been doing it for himself. Yeah. Craig says the only one he hasn't turned on is Putin. I like that. Putin. I like that. All right. Well, guys, it was so much fun to join you. I think we got some really good questions in. And yeah, Putin just uses 45. He saw a useful useful puppet, as Amanda says. Absolutely. Yeah. So, we'll keep doing it as long as we live in this chaos. I'll keep coming back with these questions. Please join me on Friday. We'll do your personal questions. And yes, Ness, a clear story emerged. Thank you. And I loved how Amanda and some of your other folks out there, your questions were, your answers were converging with mine. And when we double checked, they did the same thing. They repeated the response, the answers. So that's always a nice validation. Hi, Susie Q. So happy to have found you. Thank you for joining. Oh, wait, I'm going to say, I'll just tell you intuitively what I think about Ivanka. She is staying away from that White House to save her life. I think she's horrified by her dad. I don't think she's a great lady, but I think she's horrified by what's been going on. I really do. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. Have a really nice night. I hope to see everyone very soon, and have a beautiful night. See you on the airwaves.